Hey guys, what's going on? This is David Chen. You're on another edition of Panomics Podcast, New York Weekly's #1 podcast for health and wellness. What's up? Today we have my good friend, my buddy, Stevie Ganzer, the man with the plan, the rocket scientist, the mad genius, the guy who helps the kids with the SGC Fund, something we're very proud of working with. Stevie, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing fine, man. I'm glad to come on your show. I've had you on mine. I'm glad that we kind of got it worked out to where I get to slide into yours.
Well, I appreciate it. First, cheers to us and our friendships.
Cheers to us, baby,
And
right here.
A couple of that. I like that solo cup we're going to talk about in a second. Cheers to us. Let us begin. Man, it is a crazy 2024, Stevie. Stars are aligning. Full moons are coming out. Everything is going crazy. But the one star in alignment is how we met. And this goes and shows that everything that we do and that we prove, there's always some bigger factor that's helping it out. Stevie, do you remember how we met?
Well, I know the original conversation was like 2 years ago. We were got invited, both you and I, to be part of the Alumni Association out of Arizona with Derek Kennard and Dave Blaha and the others to work on their charity golf tournament around the Super Bowl that was in Phoenix. And lo and behold, they kind of got, I don't want to say removed or kicked to the curb, but the alumni parent headquarters out of New Jersey said that they were going to take over and do it. So you and I got removed to being in the mix of it. But then, lo and behold, the stars, like you say, aligned, the full moon. Where were we earlier this year? Vegas, baby. We were in Vegas and met up. And hey, you know what they say, a little less talk, a lot more action. You know, we had Reggie, having his sports and business, conference, and you spoke at it. I got to be, fortunately, invited me to speak at it. So we were back in the circle.
Yeah, it's so funny because I remember my partner, Michael Lucas, shout out to Lucas, we were walking around the room. We had a couple of guys speaking. And he goes, "You got to meet this guy, Stevie." And I said, "Oh, where is he?" And I turn and I see you. And right from my turn at you, here comes Floyd Sr. Right?
Yeah.
And then Floyd Sr. doing his craziness. Because, when Floyd Sr. comes in a room, you can smell the genetics of excellence. That's $50 million of prime nutsack material that came out of that man. So you go and you honor that man. And you say, "Yes, exactly. What's up?" So you start talking, right? This guy created at least $50 million, right? A billionaire, right? So you go, we talk to him. Floyd's a great guy. We know senior. We've known him for a while. A great person. And that was another alignment we had, right? And then I just remember talking to you, and we'll talk a little about your foundation and what you're doing for the kids. And I just remember looking at you dead in the eye. You go, "Stevie, we've had this conversation before," and you went, "Holy shit, it's you." And just like so many times in faith and in the world, when everything is going crazy, when you're looking for signs and you feel like there's almost no hope, you get a little sign just like that the angels are just whispering, and then you meet a cool guy like Stevie. And Stevie, tell them what you do on the foundation side of things and kind of how that happened, and then what we're doing together for the foundation.
Yeah, so back in 2004, we were doing the charity golf tournament in Rochester, New York. Moved to into the first two we did in 2005, 2006 was for St. Jude's. And then in 2007, it was around the energy conference, the federal government, DOE, with all the Department of Defense and everybody, their annual energy conference. So in 2007, they went down to New Orleans. We found the vice president of children's at New Orleans, became very good friends. And that's how we got jump-started doing the charity golf tournament around all the energy conferences and doing it for Children's Hospital. And Brian Landry down there, he's since retired, but he's still out there kicking it on doing charity events for children's and helping the kids. And so he's kind of like our mentor that got us started in this. And we've been rocking it ever since 2005 when we set the foundation up to go raise funds to help the kids. And like at most foundations, you got your ups, you got your downs, and we picked on doing charity golf tournaments, hosting them, because most of the guys that were all part of it, there was about 30 of us called the Fun Bunch that all played golf. So we just took our natural, hobby and kicked it into making it a full-time foundation of helping the kids at different children's hospital, inviting kids out to play at no cost with their guardians or their parents. And lo and behold, there's a couple from St. Louis there that they follow us and come to our different events. And then Peyton Womack's dad is also a cameraman for used to be Fox in St. Louis. I forget who. I think it's CBS now that he's working for. And so he does a lot of the videotaping and filming at the different golf tournaments that we have.
You got the sexy of the sexy, taping the golf tournament, doing the cool things that you're doing, having a good old time. Tell me, we don't think about golf. It's one of those cool things, maybe one of those boring things, one of those fun things. I don't think a lot of people understand the amount of business that happens in golf, especially my younger listeners, and the amount of opportunities that exist. Can you let us know why that foundation was started, and then what happens in business with golf?
Well, we got started with there's different corporations that were coming along and participating in sponsorships, getting players, and they came to us and said, look, if we can make this into a foundation where there's money being donated and helping a cause, it'll make it easier for us to participate as much as we love it and increase it. And so we knew that we weren't going to raise the millions of dollars that you hear from different foundations and events, but we knew that our heart and everybody that wanted to play, that didn't make millions of dollars, that wanted to help the kids at Children's Hospital, could participate. So we make it where it's economically feasible for people, that the cost of playing is anywhere from $150 to $250 max. Whether we got NFL players, celebrities, because there's a whole group of people that want to participate to help the kids that don't have that 500 or 1,000 lucrative cash that they can just pull out to go play in some of these events. So this gives them an opportunity to be out there, meet people, meet the new people that are in business, people like yourself, myself, that they can connect with, find out what's going on business-wise, because it's 4 hours. People are teaming up, partnering with their customers, clients, fellow employees, that they can conduct the business or find out what's going on, and they can do it in a relaxed atmosphere. It's not in somebody's office, conference room, that sterile, uptight environment.
Yeah, it's not in those uptight environments because a lot of people don't understand how golf works. It's so funny. I remember going to the Esports Awards, and you're seeing face line guys line up in golf, right? And they're playing. You see social media guys playing, right? It's an important aspect of business. A big crazy percentage is a giant percentage of people play golf. So much so that the Saudis, created Live Golf and started making a ton of money off the golf side of things, right? And it's so exciting. Dude, when you look at the golf side of things and everything that's pushing through and you see what they're trying to do, what do you think about that? When you have these big brands coming in out of nowhere, being able to do that with golf?
Well, they're all doing it for a good cause, right? If you look at the players that all moved to Live and making the money that they're making, that they're donating a good chunk of that back into their own foundation, because everybody that's on the PGA Tour, NFL guys that David, all have a foundation or belong to something that they're donating their time, their money. We got Marlon Greenwood that has his camp in Vegas. He's renovating a university to set up classrooms to teach kids not only the aspects of playing football, because he played in the NFL for the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Texans, but the business side of it, because not everybody is going to make it to be able to play in the NFL, or you're not going to be able to spend those how many ever years that Tom Brady played in the NFL, okay? Usually your average lifespan in the NFL is maybe 2, 3, 5 years. So you got to figure out what you're going to do when you get out. So a lot of them all have foundations, of which a lot of it you never hear about on the TV. You don't hear it on the sports page. They always want to talk about the guy that got found drunk, DUI, hit somebody, got in a brawl with his girlfriend. But there's You figure out how many people are playing in the NFL. You got 32 teams. You got 50 people on a team. Okay? Not counting the practice squad and other aspects of it. So think about how many of those people that are doing something good that never reaches out to the community. Because the phrase is business is conducted on the golf course, it's conducted out there in training, and the alumni association, the NFL Alumni Association, has it Care for Kids. That's their foundation. So they're out there helping the kids in different hospitals, different aspects, whether it's the Shriners Hospital, Children's Hospital, St. Jude's. They all do great work. So they all got their different foundations of helping people. Like our good friend Reggie Grant has got one that he helps the inner city kids of LA. You got Marshall Falk, that's from New Orleans, Ward 9, the ninth ward. When he got drafted and went into his signing his contract, he'd never seen a check. He expected that they were going to hand him, and he'll tell the story, so I know I'm not speaking out of school, but he expected to go in there and see a briefcase full of $100 bills. And they handed him a check, and he asked what that was because he'd never seen a check. So Marshall himself is out there teaching kids in LA, different areas of the inner cities across the United States, this whole aspect of business and finance, because not everybody is going to be that guy that gets $100 million contract.
$1 million does not mean you get to keep $100 million. Usually they keep about 50% of that, and that's about 50 million, and even then they don't get that much, right? But even if you get 20, 30 million, that's still a ton of money. I like something that you talked about that was important to us, and I think you talk about what are they going to do after, right? Now, a lot of people don't realize, the younger audience, but I'll tell you, when I was in my 20s, hearing the word 40, it was like, the guys are old, right? Now I'm in my 40s, I'm like, oh my gosh, is it really that old? And it trips me out, right?
And we won't even, hey, don't even go there, okay? Because I got you at least by 28.
You look good. You're 30s. You in your 30s. So let me tell you. What I think is crazy to me, and what really made me do gaming, was you would see the amount of athletes right now investing in the other leagues. You see LeBron investing into Chelsea. You see Steph Curry investing into a basketball league. You see different guys, Drake investing into a video game team. And what I realized was that when you're retired at 36 years old, now I'm 44, 36 is a spring chicken, man. And it's such a spring chicken that, like, you think in your 20s, the only thing you know when you get to your 40s is you didn't know shit in your 30s and your 20s, right? And as you get older, I realized you just realize that.
Yeah, because when I was 30, I was like running the energy department for the state of Oklahoma, and I thought I had the world by the tail. I was a badass. I could go out there and tell people that were my dad's age, our dad's 50 years old, 60, and tell them how they had to do the work, right? Because you're in architectural design, and you go, no, this is how you're going to do it. And here's some, 50-year-old guy telling you, like, hey, what do you know, 30-year-old punk,
Yeah, and it's funny, right? Because then you become the older guy, you start realizing that the reason that a lot of the older guys haven't gotten to where they got is because they just haven't gotten it, and they haven't changed things that have to change. And I remember thinking to myself, man, at 30, if this is so young that you're going to end up being retired, what are you going to do? What can you do anymore, right? You can only play so many golf rounds, only so many rounds of golf. You can only go party so much, and then you're bored out of your wits. And so for us, it was like, let's just do gaming. Let's do streaming. Let's do podcasts. Let's do marketing. Let's give these guys a sense of purpose to grow their brands on every single day basis. And that's why I got into it, man. I mean, I got into all that because of that. And I think I caution a lot of people when they're out there and they're talking about what they're trying to do, like not getting caught up. And this is the maximum amount of things I can do because of my age, I think has allowed a lot of people to maintain their growth and maintain their youth, where it's like, oh man, this is the best I can do. And this is all I can do. And you're right, man. They get so bored that they don't have a chance to do that. And with the leagues and different things that we can do, they can always actively participate and be part of something that's valuable because it does that, man. So I love that you said that about helping people. I was thinking about the golfing and the foundation and stuff, and putting things together. Tell me a little bit of what it's named after and why.
Okay, so we started with a bunch of guys from the South, and the original name was Bad Boys of the South, or BBS, and grew that. And then it came up that the different utility companies and sponsors said, hey, look, Stevie, you're going to be the one that's got to fill out the paperwork, keep the paperwork up. So whatever you want to name it, we're behind it. So I just took if you embroider your name on a shirt or golf towel, whatever item, you take your first initial, you take your last name initial, that's in the middle, and then your middle initial is on the end. So basically, SGC stands for Stevie's initials. Okay. Well, we were doing a tournament in 2012 in St. Louis. And not only were we hosting a tournament, doing a little energy training workshop, that we also went and saw the kids at Children's Hospital. And there's two children's hospitals in St. Louis. And we were there with the LPGA future players, Kim Bauer that played on the tour, and a few of those that were Jackie and Carrie and Ashley, all were there to go with us. And we went and visited the kids. There also was Katie Kearney, that her dad played in the NFL and also was the representative to Miss Universe from Missouri. And she went with us, okay? So when in the process of walking through the hospital, we actually got to walk through the hospital, seeing the kids in their rooms, okay? And if you can make it through that hospital without tearing up and asking for tissues, you're just not human, okay? When you see these kids that are in there for bone marrow, oncology, dialysis machines, you name it, okay? Abused kids by their parents, everything that from, I don't know, from nuts, from soup to bolts, whatever phrase you want to use. So in that process, we got to meet a lot of the parents. And a lot of the parents were asking the LPGA players, Kim Bauer and Jackie and Sarah and everybody, what is SGC? What does it stand for? Well, lo and behold, they came up and said it stands for Stevie Ganzer's Children's Foundation. And so when that got around, I started asking everybody if they were okay with calling it that. So basically, that's what the letters stand for. But if you go look it up, it's just SGC Foundation. But that's how it got started. A lot of the parents know it as Stevie G's Foundation. But all in all, the foundation is run by, and the aspects of, you don't need a title to be a leader, okay? And I think it was Mark Seaborn that wrote the book. It's an easy book. People laugh at Stevie because it has pictures, doesn't have a lot of print. It's a small book, but it tells you what a leader is versus a manager, okay? And the title just stuck. You didn't need a title to be a leader, okay? So anybody that's part of the foundation, from all the different hospitals we met, it's called the Fun Bunch. If it ain't fun, we ain't doing it. It's your foundation. You don't need a title. You don't need to be the CEO. You don't need to be the CFO. Look, everybody's equal. Everybody gets one vote. Whatever we're going to do, where we're going to go, that's how it is. I mean, we've done our logo on different items to sell. Right now, we're doing cigars, okay, that we picked up, that we found a guy that his family owns the tobacco farm in Nicaragua. So now we're doing cigars that $5 off of every cigar, and they're $10 a cigar. That $5 off every cigar is going to go directly to a children's hospital. And if you buy a cigar or a few cigars, however many you want to buy, and give them out to your customers or keep them for yourself, you can designate which children's hospital you want the money to be sent to. Since then, David doesn't even know this yet, but when we open up this tournament in May that we're going to talk about in Phoenix, we are now connected to Volar, VOLAIR, pickleball rackets, to where they're teamed up with the foundation now, that we're now going to have the Stevie G pickleball racket line with the SGC logo on it. They're working on the colors of red because the foundation's color is red. Stevie loves color red. So we're going to do red with the Dreamcatcher logo, and hopefully have some of those to raffle and auction off for our May event and then the future events. So we're now into not only hosting golf tournaments for everybody, we're now into that whole new age of that everybody's looking to do pickleball, So we're now doing pickleball in Phoenix at Chicken and Pickle over there in Glendale. So we're looking to expand, do anything. We got David. We're connected with David. David's got all kinds of great ideas. So, hey, we might even come up with who knows what's next. People ask me, and I go, I don't know. But whatever happens will happen.
It'll happen, and it's happening right. It's happening good, man. I love that story. I know that we'll be doing the tournament coming up. We got a couple celebrities coming up. When people think about these networking events that we have, I know they don't realize that A lot more gets done, in my opinion, at these networking events, at these dinners, these one-on-ones, than going up to 7,000 people randomly or 70,000 people and hoping to talk to 200 people, because all you need are 2 or 3 people to get things done, right? A special highlight of doing these type of events, and I like doing all sorts of networking. I encourage a lot of people, like, I remember when you go into these networking events, talking to people, having an objective, knowing who they are, being super friendly, getting their information, taking a photo of the person so you remember what they look like and text them immediately, right? The simple things that are so important in these type of networking sessions that change everything in their lives. I know that as you're pushing this forward, you've done so many of these. There's been some pretty cool ideas and deals that have come out of it. Can you give me an example, one of the cool ideas that have come out of something like a networking session like this that would encourage other business people to attend more sessions and more fun events like this that really at the end of the day still networking?
Yeah, because what we've just found out 2 days ago, talking to J.C. Pearson of formerly playing cornerback, for Kansas City Chiefs, and his good friend Jamie, they're part of this deal called Super Patch. Okay, that a guy, I believe it is, from NASA many years ago, developed these patches, no drugs, totally approved by the FDA, that he developed it for his mother who happened to have MS and trying to figure out what to do. That didn't have any side effects, the drugs, what have you. So they've come up with Super Patch that we're now connected and learning from that just popped up. Okay, so we had no idea where it was going to come from. This came up, and now we're looking into being ambassadors to Super Patch, that they've got the patches for stress, pain, balance, that some of the people on LPGA, PGA are using. The NFL guys are looking at it for balance and the pain. There is no chemical in these patches. They last for 24 hours. It almost looks like a thumbprint that's on it, and it's the bridges, because they're doing is, as I understand, because I really don't know a lot about it yet, okay, is that it's connecting from your brain to your skin. And it's just like if you touch the hair on your arm or you bump it against something, your brain tells you that you're touching something. When it's the same kind of concept of bridging in your brain to work on these different aspects. And I think they got like 20 different patches. They're pink, they're blue, they're green. I don't know what other colors they've got, because those are the 3 I know of. That's stress, pain, and then and balance. Okay, and a lot of the NFL guys are using them, checking their balance, and they put that patch on, and it's amazing what takes place. And basically, it's on their skin, and it's connecting to their brain and sending brain paths from their brain to the skin and working. So, like I said, it's out there. The guy that developed it was a technical engineer for NASA. So it's all based on technology. And so that's just something that's just popped up out of business of connecting, that JC and Jamie connected to Super Patch, that they brought to us and asked if we wanted to be part of ambassadors and have these patches at the golf tournament for people to try. So we're into this. So in May, with the veterans, with PTSD and everything, we've got that. We also have a good friend, JP Hoffman, former vet, Purple Heart, that owns Sons of Liberty gummies and CBD that, is good for PTSD and kids with autism. So we've reached out and we're connected through the golf tournaments, found JP, the energy business, and we're now helping kids with their autism. And in that process, we bumped into Christina, that heads up her own foundation in Houston for autistic kids, to teach autistic kids how to take change, make change, and being able to work in a regular commercial Walmart, Wendy's, McDonald's, because it takes extra time to teach these kids how to do this because they're autistic. But she's taking the time, and that's what her passion is, because she has a son that's autistic. So these are the things that come out of these tournaments. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, David and I bumped in Vegas, Reggie Grant's conference, workshop, whatever you'd like to call it, on business and sports. And there we met Jordy, that she's from, plays WNBA over in Spain. Her younger brother is going to go to college, and he's up in Rochester, New York, where Stevie goes up and practices and works on his game. So I know I played golf with him, and she reached out saying, "Hey, here's his resume. Can you help us figure out which college, assist in what college to go for, for to play golf, because that's his passion." We met another lady, I can't remember her name, and David Mike, that's the doctor with PhD that helps write grants and does a lot of the contracts with the federal government that we bumped into, and we started talking about our past, and she's reaching out to help write a grant for the foundation to get additional funds to be able to help more kids. So these are the kind of things that happen. It's like Reggie Grant says, hey, you got to be in the room to make it happen. It doesn't matter where you are or where the meeting is or where David's doing his gaming, conference, workshop with whoever. If you're not in the room, you're not there making the contacts to find out what's going on. And then it carries out on the golf course doing the same thing. You got 4 hours, 5 hours that you're just out there in a whole different atmosphere of talking a little business in a relaxed atmosphere and playing golf and having a good time. Because like we say, if it ain't fun, we ain't doing it. And as Reginald Grant would say, elevate somebody today.
And if it ain't fun, we ain't doing it, but we're going to be doing it big in the next 2 weeks out there in Phoenix. I'm excited to get that going. Now, I got some friends that will be showing up that have told me they're going to go there. I got my man Don McCarty from Richfield Ballers going. I got the one and only Cass Martin, her millions of followers going. You got Avery from Exet and running for Miss Arizona, and some other people that are coming in from our world to your world and mix and mash. We're going to have our dinner ahead of time. We're going to have our ConnectX dinner. We're going to have our meet and greet, and we'll go through our different panels with them. I'm super excited about that, Stevie. And then from there, I think we're going to Miami next. Stevie, as you're doing all of this, tell everybody where and what websites they can go out to check out this and what your personal social media is.
Yeah, you can find the foundation website is SGC Sam George Charlie dash foundation.org. And there you can find out the past events, the events that are coming up. And now that we've added pickleball to it, now we got golf, pickleball, but you can also find on there to be able, SGC-foundation.org. You can find the cigars to purchase, probably these new paint, these new patches from Super Patch. No telling what we're going to add, because I know we're going to connect. David's on there. We know we're connecting those, the different gaming, the different conferences, the different workshops, the golf tournaments. We got Phoenix in May. We've got Pensacola in June. Let's see. Then we've got Nashville, and everybody loves to go to Nashville. I mean, come on. Broadway Street, Nashville, and music. We're going to be down there in September.
That spicy
Then
chicken.
yeah. Yeah, we got that. And then we're also going to be, my favorite is Panama City Beach in October for our annual Toes in the Water, Ass in the Sand beach party and golf and pickles. So, and then, like you say, the next year we kick off every year in Orlando, the third week of Orlando, around the PGA merchandise show, and raise a little money for Arnold Palmer's Children's Hospital down there. And then we're back at the Granddaddy in February, which is the Super Bowl, which is that week of the 3rd of February to the 9th in New Orleans. So we have already got the course laid out. We've got the 4 courts for pickleball. We've got 3 different conferences going on. We got your conference, David. We got Reginald Grant's conference going on. Got several different cigar meet and greet events going on down there. I know that I think Mrs. King has her silent auction to raise funds for the kids that are orphans and out there on the street. So there's a lot that goes into the Super Bowl that a lot of people don't know. Everybody thinks
Right.
that Thursday night, right? They got opening night on Monday. They got that whole, I forget what they even call it. I should know it, but that they got the mics up, right? That everybody goes by and talks to everybody. And then you've got,
Right.
the awards on Thursday night. They don't even know all these other events that go on to raise funds from, a fashion show to help the orphan pets, right? Dogs, cats. So there's something going on there's at least 2 or 3 events going on every day. And like you said, Mayweather Sr. was at that event that we were at, and I got news for you. He asked some of us when we went to the gym if we wanted to spar with him, and I got news for you. His hands are still faster than what you can block.
Faster than grease lighting, Stevie. Stevie G, my main man. We're going to do this one again, a part 2 when I get up there in Phoenix. Man, I appreciate it so much, Steve, and all that you do for the kids and the foundation. I'm looking forward to getting this going, man. Stevie, there's one more piece of advice that you can give everybody in our audience. What would that be?
I would say don't be afraid to start something. Whatever is in your mind to think, do it. Because you know what? You may not get it to work the first time, or it might not, or it might work, but not to what's in your mind or how you want it to work. But you got to start somewhere and then you can grow it. Because if you look at, if somebody would have told me in 2005 I'd have a foundation, a charity, I would have looked at you and asked you what you're drinking. You know, is it tequila? You know, because if it is, let me have some. Or what are you smoking? Because I would have never believed that I would be heading up a foundation, let alone have it going 18 years. You know, it's been 18 years, 19 years that we've been doing this. So I would have never dreamed it. I mean, it wasn't in my mind. It wasn't even anywhere in my foresight. So what I tell everybody, hey, get out there and try something, whatever you like, whatever your hobby is, you can make it into your dream to do something to where your job is not a job. It's what you love to do.
Amen to that, man. For Stevie Ganzer, I appreciate it, brother. I can't wait to see you down there in Phoenix, and for Pananomics and David Chen, the whole entire crew. We appreciate you guys. Stay healthy, stay conscious, stay alive, and grateful. And we'll see you guys next time. Good night.